We're following the latest reaction to Berlusconi's death. And for the latest, we want to cross to our correspondent in Brussels, Dave Keating. Dave, tell us a bit about Berlusconi's history with the European Union.
Yeah, Silvio Berlusconi had a complicated relationship with the European Union. He was by no means a Eurosceptic. He was quite pro-EU. His Forza Italia party that he founded always sat in the center-right European People's Party. That is a quite mainstream pro-EU group. However, he was also a populist, and he never shied away from taking pop shots at Brussels or for blaming Brussels for EU policies that actually he himself and his government had voted in. That doesn't make him unique among European prime ministers, but it was toward the end of his premiership when the things started getting quite complicated, when the debt crisis occurred and Italy needed help. Italy was right at the center of the concern about contagion, and confidence in Berlusconi here in Brussels and among other national leaders in the EU began to wane. And that's really when his troubles came to a head. Already he, of course, had become notorious for his many scandals. He had, in many ways, become a kind of laughingstock here. And it was a time when politics demanded extreme seriousness. Now, when he resigned during that debt crisis, it was at the time seen as the European Union pushing him out, particularly German Chancellor Angela Merkel kicking him out. In reality, his resignation was for a variety of reasons, which were both coming from domestic pressures and EU pressures. But I think he never quite got over that sting of being made to resign in such an ignoble fashion. However, he still maintained his relevance in Italian politics, and of course, his party, Forza Italia, was instrumental in the formation of the current far-right dominated government in Rome.
Well, Dave, as you mentioned, Berlusconi was an influential figure in Italy up until his death. So what now are the implications for the future of his party?
Yes, I mean, he very much was a liability for the Italian Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni, who had a complicated relationship with him herself. She has always been kind of, her party, Brothers of Italy, has always been loosely aligned with Forza Italia, but a different party that would often criticize Forza Italia. Now, Prime Minister Meloni has been very much out in front in support of Ukraine, in condemning Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Silvio Berlusconi, on the other hand, has been keen to talk about his close personal friendship with Vladimir Putin. He's been making excuses for Russia, very much in the same way that Donald Trump has been in the United States. And that has caused a huge headache for Prime Minister Meloni every time Berlusconi has opened his mouth on this subject. She's had to distance herself from him. So this should make things a little easier for Meloni and also for the government as a whole, because toward the end there, this was something that they kept having to make excuses for. But that being said, I think there are a variety of leaders on the right in Italy that would like to take over Berlusconi's mantle. Meloni is obviously the obvious successor here, but of course, you also have Matteo Salvini, whose star has started to dim, certainly in the last couple of years, especially as Meloni's has risen, but he will also be very keen to take up that mantle and project himself as the new Silvio Berlusconi of Italy.